I didn't really feel like looking for Sonic hot takes myself. That's why we're gonna have AI make them up for me.
You lazy piece of shit.
We're back with the Sonic hot takes. This time we're gonna see what type of takes AI can create for us. Tails should be the main protagonist, not Sonic. What? I guess they make some decent points, like his ability to fly using his tails adds a fresh dynamic to the gameplay, but opens up a whole new world of exploration possibilities. And they also say Tails has a compelling backstory that deserves further explanation. But none of these points convince me that Tails should be the main protagonist. Tails can still be a sidekick, and you can still have a game that goes deeper into the story. You can still have a game that can expand upon his gameplay style. You can still do that with Tails being the sidekick. He doesn't have to be the main protagonist for these things to be possible. So I don't necessarily agree with it, but it is a hot take. That's an interesting take. Tell me in the comments if you agree with this or not. Yes sir, yes sir. The next one says the Werehog form from Sonic Unleashed was underrated. You already know me. You already know I think the Werehog is overhated, bro. It just brings a new dynamic into the Sonic games. I don't know. I feel like it was really fun when I played it for both versions, the Wii and the HD version. Both of those were really fun for me. The Werehog form allowed for a deeper exploration of Sonic's character. Sonic's personality shifted, showcasing a more introspective side. The Werehog didn't add a huge new side of Sonic's personality, but it definitely did add some depth to his character. Another thing that I do really agree with is the Werehog levels also offered a visually stunning experience, and the gameplay also just allowed exploration. It really expanded upon the exploration factor that Unleashed tries to push, especially in the HD version where you have to look for medals and stuff. Even in the Wii version, there's still hidden items and music records and stuff hidden throughout the level. I will say though, as personally, I do like the Werehog stages in both versions the way they are. I feel like they still could have used some polish. I feel like people's main gripes with the Werehog just come from the way it controls and way he moves and just the way it slows down the gameplay. I feel like if it had a little bit more polish and there was less fighting sections, and then I feel like the Werehog experience would have been better for a lot more people. But I do agree with this take. I do feel like the Werehog stages are not only underrated, but they're overrated. The classic 2D Sonic games are overrated. So basically the points that they make is that classic games have inconsistent momentum, their physics are an issue. And the second point they came up with is the level design, while groundbreaking at the time, it pales in comparison to later 3D Sonic games. And the third point is that they lack narrative. All these points I agree with, but I don't think classics are overrated. I feel like they're properly rated. I don't think anybody overrates these games. I feel like everybody understands that these were the first Sonic games. They're not going to age the greatest. Like, I don't see anybody out here saying Sonic 2 is better than Unleashed. At least I hope not. So this take, as I do agree with the points, I just don't agree that the games are overrated because of these points. The next one says Sonic's friends are holding him back. Ooh. With an ever increasing roster of friends, the focus has shifted away from Sonic as the primary protagonist, which I don't necessarily agree with, because I feel like most people understand that Sonic is the main protagonist. Like, look at Sonic Unleashed. Sonic Unleashed had Tails. Tails' stages weren't that huge in the game, but Tails had his own gameplay, but Sonic was still the main central focus. Characters like Amy and Chip didn't have gameplay, but they were also in the game, and they didn't take away from Sonic's development at all. And I can argue that Sonic being with his friends is good for his development because it adds a new dynamic to his character, how he interacts with different friends. Sonic's not going to act the same with Tails than he acts with Amy, and the same thing goes with Knuckles. He's not going to act the same way around Knuckles than in comparison to how he acts with Amy. I could argue that Sonic's friends having so many different personalities expands Sonic's character because you can see multiple different sides to Sonic. You can see his more competitive side when he's around somebody like Knuckles or Shadow. You can see a little bit more of a big brother figure type character with Sonic when he's around Tails. And then Chatgpt says Sonic's friends often bring along their own unique gameplay mechanics and abilities, leading to a lack of cohesion in the gameplay experience. So I can kind of understand this point, but at the same time, I just don't think that's where the Sonic fan base is at. I think the Sonic fan base values the other characters. They want to actually play as these other characters. They want multiple gameplay styles back in Sonic games, and not just different Sonics. They want multiple characters. They want Sonic's friends. They want to play as Tails. They want to play as Shadow. They want to play as Amy. They want to play as these other characters. They want to play as Knuckles. That could be what we're getting with Sonic Frontiers, that final DLC. So I'm kind of mixed on this take. I feel like I kind of agree with it, mostly don't agree with it. Ooh, Sonic should embrace a darker and mature tone. I already agree with this take. I don't need to read the rest of it. We're still going to read the rest of it, but I already agree with this take right here. Already, by adopting a darker tone, Sonic could explore deeper and more complex storylines. That's exactly what I want for the Sonic series. I want more complex story. I don't want them to be super complex to the point to where you can't really follow it like Sonic 06, but I definitely do want stories that involve the Chaos Emeralds a little bit more, that have a little bit more emotion to them, just a little bit more depth to them. I feel like Sonic Frontier story is the perfect example. Maybe a story with just a slight bit more depth than Sonic Frontier story, but still Sonic Frontiers is the perfect story right there. And nobody's saying that there has to be like super mature, dark messages and super dark things going on in the Sonic game. So something a little bit more mature than what there already is. Sonic has proven to be a resilient and adaptable character, and embracing a darker side could unlock new dimensions of his personality, as well as provide players with captivating narratives and thrilling gameplay experiences. I think if Sonic stories continue to play it safe, not saying that they have been recently, especially with Sonic Frontiers, they finally kind of went into a little bit more of a mature tone. I feel like if a Sonic story plays it safe, it doesn't allow for Sonic to develop as a character. He stays the same way the whole game. Like look at like Generations, for instance. Generations doesn't really have a story like that, and you can see that Sonic doesn't change at all throughout the whole game. He's a very flat character the whole game. So I do agree with this take. I feel like Sonic should definitely embrace the more dark tone. Embrace what y'all did in Sonic Frontiers. That's perfect for the franchise. I feel like that's perfect, bro. That's perfect right there. Chatgpt has some pretty interesting takes. In this video right here, somebody argues that Eggman is stronger than Sonic. Might want to check that out. Other than that, I appreciate y'all for watching this video, and I'll see y'all in the next one.